My role at Evolution is to help the portfolio companies grow their revenue, and that's through marketing and sales. In the sales arena, when you come into a small business, often the sales have been very focused on either a founder or a key account executive who's just done things a certain way and base their sales on industry expertise or relationships. If you want to grow the business, you need more sales team, then you obviously need a way to train those people on how we do business, right? How we sell, how we interact with our customers. So that's why you need to build and document a process, and then you need the tools to help implement the process. The reason why a lot of small businesses don't have them is because, first of all, a lot of small business owners think that sales isn't science. They still think it's relationship. They also really, even if they acknowledge it, they haven't really had the time to grow that part of their business. I mean, these businesses are, they're so exciting, but they're very resource constrained. And so when the owners are, out shoveling sidewalk, taking inventory in the warehouse, buying benefits for their people, trying to sell, they're doing all of these things. So, writing down a sales process isn't really at the top of the list. Plus, we as humans tend to not be very disciplined, I would say. We tend towards chaos. When you come into these small businesses, it's very common to not have a sales process and for them to not understand why it's necessary. So at Evolution, we have a tested process called the 5 fundamentals. There are 5 areas of the business that we help the founder and his team to professionalize over time. So the 5th area is revenue generation. That's where I help the CEOs to envision how this would work, both with a process and then with tools to support the process. So I think the heaviest lift in actually implementing this is once you establish the process, which is not difficult because sales processes are very similar. I mean, it's not rocket science. So, once you have that and document it, you have to figure out what tools would best support the growth internally of that initiative. And one of the hardest things is, and the most difficult lift is the CRM system. Selecting a system that's going to support the business but isn't too big for the business, because there are so many of those out there. You don't need an enterprise system in a lot of these small companies that we're working with. The heaviest lift around the CRM is, there's always a configuration, implementation, data migration. It just takes a lot of work, and often the data is spread all over the organization, and they just haven't had the opportunity or a resource to take on this task. The second area that is quite intense is pulling the legacy knowledge out of the founder's head and the industry knowledge together and putting together training that's useful, it's meaningful and effective, and not an encyclopedia long for the new sales team that you're going to hire to help you grow the business. That training piece is critical. It's really important that all the salespeople are hearing and learning the same things, and that those things are accurate. They can't include sort of urban legend, right? And that's really a lot of what you find in these businesses of 10 to 50 people. They've kept this thing running by their own grit. They have all of the history in their heads, and they think they understand. You have to take that and make sure that it matches the data that you find and that it makes sense to train salespeople in that methodology. I think I enjoy working with small businesses because I had the pleasure of doing it myself. This is the type of business that I was able to participate in for many years. It's a business that is doing a lot of things right, if you will, but just needs some additional resources and some professionalization to just pivot and start to take off. I love working with the CEOs because they're really smart, they're very resourceful, because they just haven't had a lot to work with in the past. The ones that we partner with are very energetic and excited about doing the right thing for the business and their teams. They're also collaborative. The Evolution team works really well with these CEOs and their teams, and that's our model. So those are the types of people we look for, and that's what we get, and so we really we enjoy working together. It's exciting to watch them get excited about the changes that are occurring in their business.